Alright, what's good, y'all? It's Khalil back for another video. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Today we're going to be reacting to why moose are the greatest threat to national security. Let's get right into it.
Moose are one of those animals. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that you could look at this picture 900 times.
Damn! That moose is big as shit. I didn't know they got that big. I thought they was like deer damn near. Like just deer with antlers. Look how big this bitch is.
901st will still put bricks in your pants. Also, fun fact, this picture's probably the reason you even know I exist.
That
One of the
shit's
first
scary.
animal videos I ever made was dedicated to how much of a middle finger this was to my peace of mind. What was true back then is still very much true today. At up to 1,700 pounds and 7 feet tall.
Are you fucking with it?
At the shoulders, the moose is always
How
going to be
tall?
up to 1,700 pounds and 7 feet tall.
7 feet tall?
At the shoulders, the moose is always
shoulders.
going to be one of those animals God forgot to put a size cap on. Moose are part of the Capreolinae deer family. Only problem is this roy deer is closer in size to an elephant.
Yeah, I
than to
thought
a
it was.
full-grown.
I thought it was the size of that little deer down there. But this bitch is standing over your truck.
Because you probably think I'm lying, the largest Alaskan moose ever caught was 1,808 pounds and 10 feet tall if you count.
10 feet tall.
But like, why wouldn't you? Moose are broken in many ways, but
Look
the most
how big
obvious
this
how
thing is.
God big they are.
Nigga, that's scary.
I better start back. I can't back up that fast, can I?
Oh, he's gonna. Ooh!
The problem with being built like a truck with antlers is that very few things in nature have the ability or the audacity to ever try to check you. And while moose calves are obviously vulnerable to predators, there just aren't enough things in the world that are bold enough, desperate enough, or stupid enough to want smoke with a full
He's hiding behind the trees. Bruh, imagine you taking a walk in the morning. You going for a jog or something in the woods. You see this big fucking demon. You see this big demon. What you about to do?
And while wolves might hunt them, even a wolf pack will hesitate to test a healthy male moose's ability to turn you into past tense.
And I fuck
And
with
as
wolves
solitary
heavy.
hunters at a case
Shit, I got wolf
pushed in by
tattoo shit.
smaller animals like the guanaco, most cougars won't even bother with a full-grown moose.
Wolves ain't fucking
In
with
some
no
places,
moose.
grizzly bears have been known to murk adult moose, but when the only thing in your area code that has even a chance of humbling you is literally one of the largest predators on the planet, that is a problem. And if you're 10 feet tall, pushing 2,000 pounds, wearing tree branches for a hat, a bear isn't gonna try you unless it's its last possible option. Which is why one of the biggest threats to a healthy, full-grown, aggressive bull moose is an even bigger, aggressive bull moose. And that's because in what I can only describe as a dick move from nature, the same antlers that help it get laid are often what gets it laid to rest. Sometimes fighting males will get their antlers locked together, and that's basically a death sentence. Because two moose that are stuck together and can't break free will either starve to death, die of exhaustion, or a lucky bear will find them and take the 2 for 1. Exhibit A, these are 2 male moose that got locked together and ended up freezing in a lake. And speaking of lakes, moose can swim. Because of course they can. I don't know who told them, a moose somehow figured out there's a good amount of food in lakes. So don't dive
He's just in the
20 feet
water.
down, feet on the aquatic plants
20
and
feet
vegetation
down.
at the lake bottom. There's better swimmers than me. It's really not uncommon
Look at
to
this
see a moose
nigga
swimming in an inlet connected to the sea or phelpsing between islands as they search for food. And at this point, you probably know exactly what direction this video is about to go in. Because this right here is how this ends up happening. Because the moose is basically defenseless in the water, and because orcas always choose violence, the killer whale is the only known marine predator of the moose. To be fair, Greenland sharks have been found with moose remains in their stomach, but for my mental health, we're gonna assume the moose are already dead. But the truly messed up part is the only reason the moose even put themselves in this position is because they were looking for food. It's like finding a shortcut to Stop and Shop and then getting clapped in the car at a red light on the way there. And since orcas don't see humans as a reliable food source, at least once in the history of mankind, some guy lived through this and probably never slept well ever again. Also, his therapist drives a Bentley. And that's basically a walking snowplow. An adult moose can sprint through 6 feet of snow at about 15 miles per hour.
Nigga.
Those numbers might not mean much to you, but I can personally guarantee you this video.
Look at how fast he's moving through snow.
Now ask yourself what's scarier, this moose running through snow or what in the possible it could be running from. And then there's this.
What?
I don't even really know how to describe this.
Is he
2 options,
running
either
on
the
top of
water's
water?
shallow or that's Jesus Christ in moose form.
That water's gotta be shallow.
For an animal that's dead ass big enough and tall enough to have its own Wi-Fi, moose can sprint at top speeds of 35 miles per hour.
35?
Usain Bolt at his best maxed out at just under 28 miles, meaning not even he could run from the snow. Now there's probably 2 reasons why you've never seen a moose run at top speed. Well, number 1, when you're built like a
they ain't got no reason to run. Shit, what they about to run from? Bears don't fuck with them. The only animal that has the advantage I'm seeing is a fucking whale in the ocean. That's because they ain't got no defense.
In the world you need to run from. And number 2, anyone that manages to motivate a several 100-pound moose into breaking an Olympic record probably isn't going to be alive to talk about it. In a country with bears, cougars, and Florida, the most dangerous animal of all is a 10-foot vegan with antlers. But it's not really their fault. Moose are deer, and as a rule, deer are just menaces to society. In America, deer cause about 1 million car accidents a year and about $1 billion worth of damage to add on top of it. And the moose is by far the worst deer to hit. On a scale from
if you hit a moose, your car is done. You total.
Your bunk makes you find seeing if this reaper is ever on the road with you. They say you should never swerve to avoid hitting an animal 95% of the time because you can lose control of your vehicle and end up hitting something.
But swerve to hit
worse.
that moose.
That
I mean,
5%
swerve
is
to
reserved for when
dodge
this
that
is on
moose.
the road, because
Goddamn.
if your choices are hitting a moose or swerving, then your next choices are opened or closed casket. And because moose are so disrespectful,
This old dude, what are you doing? Get in your car.
Bigger you are, the harder you fall. Only problem is moose are so
Oh
goddamn
my
big
God.
they can fall through your windshield and then put you on a headline. The worst part is because they're so tall, their eyes don't reflect in your headlights the way they would for a normal size.
He almost on a
That combined
motorcycle
with their blatant
too.
disregard for anyone else's life means in moose country you can easily go from a
Oh,
pack
oh.
you can break. According to the internet, if you're about to hit a moose, the best advice is to slow down, don't swerve, and pray to whoever you believe in. Just know that if it ever comes down to your car versus a moose, the moose might walk away, but you're not coming out of there without wings and a halo. But of course, moose don't need to be on the road to put you on a stretcher, and this is what makes them worse than the cougars and bears.
That's about how big I thought they were. Cause it looks like that's about as tall as this dude. That's still scary though. He ain't got no
Predators
handlers.
like mountain lions or grizzlies don't normally see humans as happy meals, so most encounters are either territorial because some dude was either unlucky enough or stupid enough to get too close to their cubs.
Fuck.
These guys are different.
They look
Different
chill.
No river dance all over your back, and they don't really need a reason to do it. As big as they are, they're still a very much valuable prey animal, especially if they're young or sick. And due to the generation, as big as they are, they're still.
Look at the wolf up top. He's fighting for his life. Look at him. And is this one chasing a bear? Yeah, moose ain't no joke. God damn. I can't get over this wolf. That look like he punched him in the mouth.
Different as in no river dance all over your back, and they don't really need a
God
reason
damn.
to do it. As big as they are, they're still a very much valuable prey animal, especially if they're young or sick. And due to the generational trauma of being constantly hunted, moose are naturally wary, which makes them much more likely to attack unprovoked.
Oh!
It gets worse when people forget that they only have one chance at life and attempt to waste it by feeding a moose. This often leads not just moose but wild animals in general to associate humans with food, and with association comes expectations. A moose that's constantly been fed by humans is only going to expect food whenever it sees them, and a moose.
Bruh, imagine. They feeding the moose. The moose comes up on you. You don't even know. It comes up on you like, where's my damn food at? You like, I ain't got shit for you. Bow, and the moose gonna fuck you up. Hold on.
It just makes sense. And failing to meet a moose's expectations is exactly how heaven gains angels.
Yep,
but
I knew
moose
it.
is at its most volatile when it's in rut. For those of you that don't know what rut is
What
when
is rut?
male animals like camel or deer experience a surge in testosterone, which causes them to become more aggressive and more interested in mating. And for those of you that already know what rut is, I know how you know. I know how you know. And for moose, this surge in testosterone turns them into 10-foot frat boys on spring break, and sometimes they cause just as much damage. Every year in America and Canada, people visit the emergency room because they got too close to a moose, and that moose decided to play hopscotch on their back.
Oh, nah.
Sometimes moose cut out the middleman completely and just pull up to hospitals themselves.
What the fuck? It's not funny. Bitch, that's a big-ass moose. What if it goes crazy? If it hits you? Oh!
Because moose are such a roadblock on the highway of life, once upon a time the USSR actually tried to domesticate these deer on steroids and then ride the tanklers into battle on a moose cavalry.
Oh, that's hard!
Results were mixed. Once again, as a prey animal, the moose were naturally terrified of gunfire, and many of them refused to allow themselves to be ridden into battle. Not to mention the moose were much more susceptible to diseases and much harder to feed than horses, so yeah, it was up for that. But there had to have been one kid that joined the military.
That's a good idea, though.
College, only to have his ops pull up on a whole ass moose. If we're being honest here, that story just says more about the Soviet Union than it does about the moose. Back to the moose. Are overgrown all-terrain vehicles with legs, antlers, and audacity, and probably the reason Canadians are so polite. Their landlords are moose and they pay taxes to geese. You'd be humble too. Pretty sure this is the part of the video where I'm supposed
I'll
to
fuck a goose up. I'm not worried about no goose.
Have a nice day. Alright, so moose drop their antlers every year but grow them back in the spring because they use them to flex for females. And at first the antlers grow inside this soft skin with tiny hairs called velvet. But eventually the moose has a surge of testosterone where they basically become 7-foot frat boys on spring break. That's when the velvet sheds and the bones of the antlers harden. The velvet stays on the antlers for about 3 to 4 months until the moose rubs up against trees and bushes to remove them. Which is why they look like they bundied somebody. As much of a hate crime as this looks like, it doesn't hurt the moose at all, and it's a lot like snakes shedding their skin. If anything, it's more like an annoying itch. Also, when a bull moose wants to pull a female, they use cologne just like you and me. Except their version involves digging a pit, peeing into the pit, and then rubbing and splashing a golden pool all over their antlers the R. Kelly way. Maybe they know what they're doing because smelling liquid sunshine causes the female moose to ovulate because nature's just weird like that.
That's fucking gross. Well, I'm gonna end the video there. Fuck, I didn't know moose was so crazy. Fuck. Hey, but if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment your favorite part below, and I'll see you on the next video. All right. Peace.